So good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. So today we are here to explore how Microsoft defines the mixed reality and how Microsoft infuses it in its products, whether they are packaged products or Dynamics 365 or the local platform, the Power Platform. To talk to you about the topic, there will be Marco and I. I am Alessandro Borgogno. I'm a Microsoft technical architect at the Microsoft Technology Center in Italy, in Milan, and I'm specialized in business applications, so both Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marco Rocca, and I'm a cloud solution architect in modern workplace domain. And I work mainly with all collaboration application in Microsoft 365, from SharePoint to Teams. But in the last few years, I'm focusing on also in Power Platform.
Yeah, let's say that Power Platform is probably the big love that links, that bonds me and Marco. So the agenda for today, we will approach the live demo as anticipated by Sarah, with some introduction and with some general topic to understand what we're talking about. So of course we will give a brief definition of mixed reality, even if probably if you are in this session you already know what it is, but most importantly, we will focus on why mixed reality. So why is Microsoft investing in mixed reality and infusing it in its applications? And then we will deepen the topic to see how the mixed reality is brought inside the different Microsoft products. So we will start with the packaged business applications, so Dynamics 365, a different application for different duties. And then we will focus on the Power Platform to see some live action and live demo by Marco. Of course, we will close with our availability to reply to your answers, so feel free to ask in the chat. So we said, what is mixed reality? Probably here we can go quite fast. It's just to say that for Microsoft, the definition of mixed reality is basically the blending of the physical and the digital worlds in which the users may interact with digital and real world objects, maintaining their presence in the physical world. So is this related to the metaverse? Well, of course it is, because again, if you are attending this event, probably you are already seeing that, but there are multiple definitions of the metaverse. I just reported here one, just to be guided looking at this slide, but if we are imagining the metaverse, if we are defining it as a platform for the engagement between humans, and I would add also with machines, enabled by technologies that allow this persistent digital representation of the connected aspects, both of the real and the digital world, for sure, mixed reality is something that helps to go in this direction. So where are we in terms of different possible metaverses? So if you are a bit familiar with Microsoft strategy, and if you've followed other events, probably you know that Microsoft is working at different levels in all of these areas. We talk about consumer metaverse, so for sure all those experiences that enable mainly companies to connect with their end customers. So for example, to present new products, present a new collection, doing an event both in a physical and virtual world. Then we move to what we call the enterprise metaverse, the collaboration metaverse. So again, if you're familiar with Microsoft, Sarah was using the Microsoft Teams avatar. So all the what was called the mesh for Teams. So again, virtual reality inside Microsoft Teams to support the physical presence in events and virtual presence, both in cameras and through avatars. And then of course, we talk about the industrial metaverse. To better understand what the industrial metaverse is, we watch a brief video.
日本では我々ロボットを開発する人間にとってやはり子供のように親である我々開発者がちょっとしたその動きのおかしさにどれだけ気づくかってことは極めて大事な形。ロボットは実は止めちゃいけないんですね。ロボットはずっと働き続けないといけない、そういう使命を持ってますね。
現場でトラブルが発生した時ですね、生産が止まってしまうという、そういったシステムの検討というものが非常に大変です。
Azure パーセプトを活用して今まで気づかなかったような故障であったりトラブルっていったものの予兆っていったものに気づけると考えております。遠隔地の方にエキスパートの方がいてくれるだけで一つの作業現場に技術力であったり知見っていったものを流すだけではなくて複数の作業場っていったところに提供しまして、そうすることによって即時にトラブルシュートを迅速化できます。
それが、デジタルツインの世界ができますと、実際現場に行かなくてもそのトラブルの状態が手に取るように分かってそこでもう直すことができると、そういったものがですね、仮想空間の中で全部調べれるようになります。
完全なるメタバースの世界は開発から設計ないしは試験までの全ての工程っていうものを仮想環境上で実行できます。
マイクロソフトさんとインダストリアルメタバースの世界をぜひ一緒に実現していきたいと考えています。
So we've seen a quick video because again, defining the industrial metaverse will be quite a broad job, but we've talked about digital twin, we've talked about the representation of plants and warehouses and factories in general. We've seen sensors collecting data, so a digital twin to monitor my plant, but also a digital twin to do forecasts, so to do simulations. And so also in this area, you started to see some examples of virtual reality, augmented reality. So both, again, the presence of digital elements in the real space and vice versa. Specifically today, we talk about mixed reality. So why is mixed reality so strictly connected to the industrial metaverse? Well, in the Microsoft strategy and the Microsoft approach to the mixed reality is mainly focused on supporting the largest portion of the workforce globally, so the frontline workers. There are today, it's estimated, around 3 million of frontline workers in the world that need to face and overcome daily unique challenges. So for sure, they need to be able to work faster, to maintain a high quality in their task, and of course, do them safely. Most of the times, they need to work hands-free to be more focused and to work in a safer way. For sure, they needed to reduce errors, and especially sometimes they need support from specialized information topics, maybe from other workers that can't be maybe in the same place as the frontline worker. That's why we think of mixed reality for the frontline workers, and that's why we identify these as the use cases where the mixed reality might be more useful to the frontline workers. So we said for sure transforming the workforce and unlocking the innovation for remote inspections and audit, and generally speaking, what we call the connected field service, and supporting the different operators in guided training. Now we will look a bit deeper in these titles, in this topic, connecting them to the different Microsoft products leveraging mixed reality. So we start from the packaged solution, so all the solution that you can buy off the shelf by Microsoft. We are talking about Dynamics 365, so business application in very different areas, from CRM to ERP, from marketing automation to, again, tools to support the frontline workers. The first we talk about when we speak about mixed reality is Dynamics 365 Remote Assist. Remote Assist is something that addresses most of the points we saw as challenges of the frontline workers. So it is used to let the frontline worker solve its problems in real time, most of the times N3, bringing into his view augmented information that might be critical for the job, and especially being able to let the frontline worker to be supported by remote experts, even if they are not there at the location. Again, to understand what Remote Assist is and see how it works, we watch a small clip.
What if there was a way for employees to work together from anywhere when everything is on the line? Employees are the heart of every business. It's their resourcefulness, ingenuity, and drive that get the job done. But even the best employees need help from people who aren't there with them. Now employees on site can work side by side with experts in remote locations. In an instant, they can share what they see, lend a helping hand, walk through the process step by step, helping solve problems in real time. This is a new vision for work. Now employees can work smarter and bring in the people they need with just a tap. They can troubleshoot, repair, and perform with confidence and speed. They can move freely, pull critical information into view, and stay focused on the task. Their hands free to do the work. This is collaborative problem solving at full speed. Your people, united across time and distance, more connected, more informed, and more efficient. Now employees can work together from anywhere. They can go there without being there. This isn't the future. This is here and now.
So the clip quickly helped us to better frame what Dynamics 365 Remote Assist is. It showed a lot of interesting features and processes that might be covered. Just to summarize them, basically you understood that first of all, you can have a frontline worker that is on site, needs remote support, so maybe he hasn't all the skills and the knowledge needed for the specific job, but he can anyway perform the task because he will be remotely assisted. So the first thing that the frontline worker can do is use its device. It can be a tablet, a smartphone, whatever. Open the Remote Assist app, and basically what starts from there is a Teams call back to the remote site with the remote expert. So in Teams, the remote expert will have the ability to see, of course, what the frontline workers is seeing at the site, and interact with the reality with a special bar with some tools. The same bar is available for the frontline worker on its device. And so both of them are able to, as you've seen in the movie, put some arrows, put some also drawings, leveraging holograms, so leveraging for the first time mixed reality elements that can be seen from both the frontline worker and the remote assistant, and be placed in a persistent way in the space. Moreover, what I wanted to stay here. What the operator can do is connect with some other external sources, both from Microsoft, so for instance, OneDrive, or also external sources like web sources, and put inside the view of the frontline worker relevant documentation that might be helpful to support the person. We saw that with some, let's say, board and circuit schema in the clip. This is reported also in the next slide, where we see that the second level, the second step that we saw also in the clip. So the operator, when it is needed to have the hands free and work with the hands on the circuit, can drop the personal device, put on HoloLens 2, and have the same experience, this time with mixed reality, not only the different elements like arrows and drawings, but also all the controls to interact with the space and interact with the hologram. Today and in the last years, there are a lot of Microsoft customers that have adopted this kind of business applications, so the ones dedicated to mixed reality to support processes in the plants, on the field with mixed reality. We just reported some of their quotes, and in the presentation you will find links to the customer stories that are publicly available, and in the end of the presentation some information about the return on investment that this company are declaring thanks to the mixed reality in Dynamics 365. Okay, sorry for that. Let's move to the second tool, which addresses one of the other pillars that we were talking about for the frontline worker, which is Dynamics 365 guides. Let's see the clip and then we will comment on it.
Work today is more complicated than ever. The old ways of training cannot get new employees up to speed as fast as the experienced people are retiring. We need a better way forward. Introducing Dynamics 365 guides. Simple step-by-step instructions are easily written on a PC, and then holographic parts and icons are simply picked up and placed on the machine where the work is happening. From day one, employees are often expected to get work done, but the complexity can be overwhelming. Now, employees can learn by doing. This is a tool that works with existing processes, allowing a manager to get the right guides to their people. The instructions move with the employees, pointing them to the tools and parts they need, showing them exactly where they need to apply them. Employees get up to speed faster, with fewer errors and more confidence. A simple glance moves them through the instructions, meaning their hands are free to do the work. They can learn at their own pace without having to rely on other workers around them. The overall experience is comfortable and intuitive. For the first time, a manager can see detailed information about how the employees are working and how their skills are growing. This makes continuous improvement faster than ever before. All of this helps employees make the complex simple, so they can learn and adapt faster, and organizations can stay competitive.
So we saw Dynamics 365 Remote Assist in supporting frontline workers having remote support. That was one of the three pillars that we saw at the beginning that are relevant for the frontline workers. In this case, Dynamics 365 guides takes care of another of those pillars. That is basically training on the job, learning a new job, a new activity, and letting the frontline worker, as we said, work faster with high quality and especially work safely. As you saw on video, we have a couple of main possibilities with Dynamics 365 guides. They are summarized in these slides. So from a trainer perspective, we are able to create and edit guides to teach, to frontline workers how to do a specific job. To do so, we have, first of all, an editor where we can decide from our PC what will be the steps to perform a certain job. And so we create these cards that will be available in the space, so will be available thanks to mixed reality, where we describe the different steps of the job. We provide maybe additional documents if needed. We provide access to specific applications that we want the operator to leverage in the mixed reality, so they can also open forms to be filled in, web pages, power-ups, etc., etc. And then again, the trainer, to finish his job of creating the guide, will leverage the second part. So they will put the HoloLens 2 themselves, not to leverage the finished guides, but to finish the guide, so to close the editing part. So putting the HoloLens on, they will see the different steps they created in the guides in the previous part, and for each step, they will decide where in the space this data card will be available and what kind of holograms will appear in the real space. So, for example, if you have to tighten a screw to an engine, like it was shown in the video, the trainer will be able to state where the engine will be in the space, decide what hologram to make appear, for instance, the hologram of the screwdriver or of the wrench, then identify in which position the hologram will have to appear, and also put some animations to let the operator understand, for instance, the movement that they have to perform with the tool on that specific part. On the other hand, as you can imagine, for the frontline workers, it's extremely straightforward. So they will put on the HoloLens 2, they will choose the guide to learn the specific job, and they will be guided through the different steps with the holograms, with clips, with documentation, and all the material that the trainer decided to provide for that specific training. Again, one of the quotes from, in this case, Toyota, that is another customer leveraging mixed reality in Dynamics 365. Again, also in this case, you will be able to find the link to the customer story. So that being said, this wanted to be an high-level overview of what Microsoft is doing in leveraging mixed reality in package applications. So if your company is interested, you can find for sure a lot of information, and you can rely on Microsoft experts and partners to get in touch with the mixed reality Dynamics 365 solution. Now for the more live part, we move to Power Platform with Marco. So we will see how the low-code and no-code platform gives you the tool to build your own applications leveraging mixed reality. Marco, over to you.
Thanks, Alessandro. Okay, today it's possible also using the mixed reality concept in classic Power Apps, then low-code, no-code application. Then you can use the same concept without using, for example, much expensive device like HoloLens, but you can reuse your classic smartphone for create Power Apps that use mixed reality. As you can see in this slide, you have three main pillars to create a mixed reality application in the real world. The first pillar is the opportunity to fit for example, your machine in a real scenario. Then you can validate if this machine is okay for the space that you have in your real world. In the second way, you can take the measurements, okay, and validate a linear measure, volume measure, etc. It's another way. Or if you have not a three-dimensional model, because for example, to validate fit, you need a three-dimensional model for your scope. But suppose that you have a classic, sorry, PNG or JPEG image, you can put this image in your real scenario. Then it's possible to create a mixed reality application in the same way for other app. You have a list of control. You can only drag and drop the control in your application, and the app is ready to use. No other configuration, no particular security concept will be to enable. Okay, you can use a drag and drop control and your app is ready. Remember that for the moment, the only mandatory needed that you have is the Jelly file. Your three-dimensional model must be in Jelly extension. You can convert your model in Jelly file using a free tool that you can find, for example, on the web. You have a new feature, for example, to use a markup control to put your model in a real scenario. Then you can identify the markup in the real scenario and put the model, and also create a marker detection. Okay, you can insert, for example, in your real scenario, a simple draw or, for example, an arrow to indicate a particular section of your model. And another big feature is possible to load a three-dimensional model from CJ Trader. Is a site, it's a public site that enables you to put model in your application. Then you need only to specify a connector versus CJ Trader to use this list of model. Okay, but it's time to using the demo. The first demo is a classic power-up with a gallery where all models are saved in a classic SharePoint list. The title, the image link for the two-dimensional image, and for example, a link for your model. In this first case, I put the three-dimensional model as a list item attachment in SharePoint list, but could be, for example, a public link in GitHub or other areas that you have. Then you have a classic list. I define only a gallery. Okay, this gallery that use this data source. As a picture, I use the image link, okay, the two-dimensional image, and I insert the three control. The first control, insert, I search mixed reality section, okay. You have all this control. View the object in the mixed reality. You can specify if you want only the selected item or put in your scenario all item in the gallery. And then you can switch in real time to all objects that you have. View shape, then the shape, take a measure in mixed reality, and using a markup in mixed reality. After this, you can take a picture for your mixed reality scenario and upload your picture, for example, using a sample patch statement, for example, to your SharePoint site. It's very easy. You can see this okay, you can put not only one picture, but you can take a lot of picture in only one shot and put all photo in your database, Dataverse, SharePoint list. It's always the same. This is the first app. In the second app, the concept is the same. In this case, in this screen, I have two galleries from the object. The concept is the same, but you can, when you ask information, okay, information are saved always in a SharePoint list. But for example, you can integrate your information. For example, you can ask a lot of information from, for example, OpenAI. OpenAI, in this case, using independent publisher connector, but in the same way, for example, you can use your private data. You need only to change the connector and use, for example, Azure OpenAI repository to ask information about your object. Then you can improve the user experience, okay? For example, you can save only few information about the object and integrate all information that you need from, for example, artificial intelligence. The last demo is another typical real scenario, a quality inspection. I open this app in a new tab. Okay, few seconds to load the app. Okay, quality inspection scenario. In this case, you can use mixed reality control, but not only the mixed reality control, but for example, I want to create a new inspection, scan a barcode, okay? You are a frontline worker, then you are on a particular site, okay, work site. You can scan the product, okay, using the barcode. Your app identify all product detail that you need. In my case, I save all data in a SharePoint list, but you, as always, you can reuse Dataverse or other data source. Using a markup or measure in mixed reality, you can complete the inspection. You can evaluate the inspection using, for example, a rating. Okay, but if you need to create a description for your inspection based on a quality, the product name, etc., you can always use mixed reality. In this case, I create a Power Automate that use an HTTP action to ask to OpenAI to create for me a description for my inspection. Then it's a typical use case for example, for mixed reality control, the quality inspection. Okay, but now it's time to go live for all application. I try to switch my phone screen. Just a second. Okay. I'll check. Okay. Now you see my phone screen. Perfect. I switch to Power Up. Okay. And in the first case, I open the first app, for example, this mixed reality with phone. Okay, you can see the gallery. Okay, I can move and select, for example, a coffee mug. Okay, then you see the first control. the opportunity to see the model in a particular control, it's only view, and you can rotate your object. Okay, and now I want to view the selected item in a mixed reality scenario. Okay, I use my markup, and this is the object. I can move the object, rotate, and then I can elevate the object in a real scenario. And then, last point, I can take the picture. I return to my application, and then I can insert a short description. And upload the image in SharePoint, for example. But I can see all items in a mixed reality scenario. Okay, I can switch from different objects. For example, I want to select a coffee cup or a coffee green there. I think that is too big for this location, but the concept, I think that is clear. And in the same way, I can I can take the image and save the image in a SharePoint list. Second case, take the measure. For example, I want to take a volume. Okay. I hope that okay. Can identify the first point, first measure, the second, and the last measure to create a volume. Okay, this is the final, and I send my measure to my app. Okay, I finished. Okay, you see that the test is failed because, for example, the 8 is less than 1.50. It's very, very easy to use this control. Okay, I want to close this app, and I open my second app. Okay, for example, from the column, I select one item. I download the content from my SharePoint list. I can see my model. Okay, if I need a lot of information, I can ask to OpenAI. Last scenario is the quality inspection app. Okay, I start to create a new inspection. For example, first step is to use a barcode scanner to identify the product. Oops, sorry. Okay, I save this product in a Dataverse table. Then I can start to create the inspection. For example, I can want to put one error in this point. Okay, I can take the picture and then I return to my form. I can evaluate the rating. Okay, it's less, for example, and I create the description using OpenAI. So we are at to inform. Okay, I use a less rating, then OpenAI is not satisfied by my inspection. Then I can submit all data in my Dataverse or SharePoint list. I can also view all inspection. Okay. For example, in this case, and I see all picture that I realized from my inspection. Okay, close, and I return to the home page. Well, we can return to our presentation.
So thank you, Marco, first of all, for the beautiful... Oh, it's not shared? Okay, yeah, sure. Good point. So as I was saying, thank you, Marco, for the beautiful demo scenarios. Super interesting seeing that thanks to the low-code platform, I can build applications in the same, let's say, direction as the package, the solution. So being able to support field workers in the field with mixed reality, showing 3D models, being able to sketch and draw in the picture, taking measurement, and also interesting to see how the Power Platform as a no-code platform is so easy to use, not only to build the mixed reality scenarios, but for instance, of integrating the mixed reality with the generative AI, thanks to OpenAI and the openness of the Microsoft platform. So we are basically at the end of our presentation. I just left at the end one slide that I was previously mentioning to you of the ROI, the return on investment that organizations are realizing thanks to mixed reality. They're just examples for each of these customers, and for many more of them. As I was saying at the beginning, there are publicly available customer stories on the customer story portal by Microsoft. Here you can see some KPIs from this company. So we go from the reduction in the intervention time thanks to the 50%, because we said we have the remote expert. We have the remote expert available to support people in the field without the need to move them in the field. So, for instance, the reduction also in the travel cost. And of course, as we saw both remote assist and guides, I would also mention, it's not reported here, but the reduction of the cost for training people, for building a specialized training on the job, and also enabling companies to reduce human error thanks to this highly detailed and quality training. So this was basically our last slide. The suggestion for this session, so related to both of the macro topics you saw, Dynamics 365 and Power Platform, is to leverage all the publicly available documentation, both from a learning perspective, so to learn to do things. And as Marco told you, especially in Power Platform, it's super easy to do. And also the publicly available documentation on customer stories, use cases, examples, demo that you can find on the internet. As anticipated, we are available for your questions. And meanwhile, thank you for attending the session and for having us here.
Okay. Try to switch on chat to see.
Let's see if there are questions in the chat. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.